Dan Tortora, wakeupcalldt.com. How you doing, Josh?
Doing great. How are you?
Good. You decided to come back. It's felt like maybe to you that you've been at Syracuse for like a decade. What can you say about this decision and now that the season is so close, why you came back, and then maybe a little bit to Aaron as well, as leaders of this team, why it was so important to take the bad taste from last year and make sure that you guys had something to do with what happens this year now?
Right. So one of the main reasons I came back is to actually lead this team. I'm not going to get up here and lie to everybody about what happened last year. I put a lot of responsibility for our season last year on myself personally, just for not fulfilling the role that I needed to be. I needed to be a leader throughout the entire team. You know, it's easy to lead only your defensive line or your unit, but I didn't reach out to the entire team. I needed to get everybody involved, and that's where I put a lot of responsibility on myself personally. So that didn't sit right to begin with myself. And then secondly, I just, I can't go out on a losing season, and just 1-10, those numbers, horrific. You look on that on paper, it's like, oh man, like it just, something didn't feel right, something didn't sit right with me. I couldn't go out on the note personally, and a lot of the guys felt the same way too. Felt like last year was not a representative of who we are as a football team, and it's part of my job to make sure we get on the right track before I head up out of here.
Josh, question from the podium here. Fans in the stands, they do make a difference, but exactly why do fans make a difference?
Right, so just feeding off the energy of the fans itself makes a huge difference, just based off adrenaline. Getting ready to run out the tunnel, that's where you get all your energy from. The fans are electric, especially in the dome. And just not having the fans last year, was a little bit different. I'm not trying to get up here and make excuses about anything, but it was just the fact that the fans are what we feed off of. We're known as the Loud House for a reason, and that's one of the elements we carry over there. And without having fans, it was definitely a little bit weird. But when you're in the game, when you line up, when you play that first snap of the ball, I mean, you kind of push everything aside anyways. So just from like a pre-game type of standpoint, the adrenaline sometimes doesn't feel there, and that's up to you to make that up for yourself.
Another question from Dan.
Josh, we've had guys that opted out last season, decided to come back this year, transfers coming in, obviously freshmen that enrolled early. What is the team starting to look like coming out of the spring? What's the dynamic knowing that there's returning faces that there's those new guys coming in transfer-wise, and then obviously the freshmen that wanted to get set a little bit early in January?
Yeah, definitely. Right now it feels day and night from spring. I mean, just from our last game at Notre Dame, I feel like we're a mile ahead from where we're at just starting in the spring. And like you're talking about the freshmen coming in, this group of freshmen coming in, they're very well prepared. They're more mature than I was coming as a freshman. They're able to grasp things a lot quicker, which is really nice to see that we can rely on them if need be. And just overall, I feel like just cohesively as a group, we're miles and miles ahead of where we were last year, and it's just one of those good feelings. Looking around the locker room, the culture has changed, and everyone has bought in, which is something that we needed and we didn't really have last year. So it's definitely awesome to see.
Josh, to your right, midway through, red shirt.
Portland Griffin with a three-point conversion. Josh, you spoke about having fans back in the arena, but the Carrier Dome and Syracuse athletics is the heartbeat of that city. Can you speak about how important you guys are to the city and to the fans?
Right, so if anyone knows anything about Syracuse, the only thing we have there is the dome and the mall. So, being, like you said, the heartbeat of the city itself, you have to walk around town, with your head high. Everyone knows the athletes around town, and it's a good feeling to have that walk around town, like, hey, how you guys doing, et cetera, all that stuff. But it also puts a lot of responsibility on us to make sure we give back to the fans over the great support they provided us for years. And that's where having a very difficult season last year, I just feel responsible and kind of feel bad for that season. We're not giving back to the fans what they deserve. And, it's all about them at that point. So we need to get that back on track to make sure they get exactly what they deserve, because they support us so well.
Josh, thank you. How about we switch